Audio Jungle.
Well, hi there, it's Greg here. 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Oh well, there you go. Yeah, I just had to say something about my experiences yesterday at parkrun. First parkrun I'd done for a while. My former running club had taken over the event, which was quite interesting. So they were kind of doing all the voluntary roles, which was great. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was parkrun tourism. Parkrun tourism is something that has crept into parkrun more and more, whereby people basically don't just run in their local event. Indeed, some people travel quite long distances, to say the least, to different parkrun events. I must say, from a green perspective, it's quite disturbing. I was running along with a gentleman who had his very proud very proud parkrun t-shirt on, 100 park runs. So I struck him up in conversation, poor guy, and said, well, how many have you done? And he said, well, I've done 170 park runs, and I've done them all around the world at different locations. And it appears this gentleman has a hobby, and his hobby is park runs, which is fair enough. But he travels huge distances around the world doing park runs. And this is something that appears to be creeping in. I've been aware of parkrun tourism for quite some time. But I must admit, it is quite disturbing to discover from other people that I've now spoken to that, go back a bit, oh look, you can see my t-shirt, I was in the Great South Run. It's quite disturbing when you look at the amount of travel related to the park run, and especially when people fly long distances to take part in park run. Okay, if people happen to be on holiday in different parts of the world and they choose to do the park run while they're on holiday, I can understand that, because they're having a holiday, fair enough, and they've travelled a distance to go on holiday. But my concerns about this culture, this parkrun tourism culture, is that people are travelling long distances just to do park runs, long distances. In fact, at the park run yesterday, the park run announcer said that there was somebody there who had achieved 4 park runs in 1 week. Must have done it by crossing time zones around the world, but they'd done 4 park runs. Now the disturbing thing is, and I know you can look at that as being a running achievement, but from a green perspective, it's appalling that somebody would travel such huge distances so that they could run park runs for 4 in a week. I don't know if this was the same gentleman that I spoke to, but you know, if too many people start doing this, and I understand from some of my green runner friends in America, it's becoming a fairly common thing over there that people might fly across the United States. You know, they might fly from California to Washington, so that they can say they've done the Washington Park Run, and then they will fly immediately home. Now the carbon footprint of this, and I know some people aren't into all this kind of thing, but the carbon footprint associated with the flying and the travelling, even if it was done by coach, but flying particularly, the carbon footprint is huge, and the damage to the environment is huge. People don't realise that, and I understand that for good reasons that some people aren't aware of these facts. But in actual fact, by flying to do a park run, by travelling to do a park run, even if you drive down the road in actual fact to do a park run, if you drive anywhere to do a run, there is a carbon footprint associated with it. And I think the responsibility is not to eliminate these things because I travel to runs as well. But when it comes to the extreme, when it comes to people having a hobby and we all have hobbies, to travel huge distances so that they can say to their mates, look, I did whatever, Chicago, aren't I clever? I did the Chicago marathon, park run, and I've ticked it. I'm ticking them all off around the world, and I'm going to go around the world, or I'm going to go around America or Britain, and I'm going to do all these park runs. I am a park run tourist. Well, sorry guys, but this ain't on. From a green perspective, you are hurting the world. You are hurting me. This kind of culture in running where do more, do longer, do this, do that, go further. Fair enough, but we aren't all high level runners. We aren't all professional runners. Professional runners might have a justification for doing some travel, but even some of those professional runners, like Jasmine Paris for example, are adopting and modifying their ways of travelling and minimising their way of travelling. And that is the way everybody's got to go. And I'm sure the Green Runners will be approaching Park Run to say, look, you can't encourage a culture where people travel around the world unnecessarily to do Park Run. Park Run is a great community spirit event. Locally, it is fantastic. It gets people involved, it gets people running, it gets people even that are suffering from illnesses to get running, it gets people doing things for charity, and it's good for the local community. But park run tourism, to me, well, it actually, and this is why I'm making this clip, it annoys me that people should be, it's hard to use these words, isn't it? But I will. Should be quite ignorant in the impact they're having on the environment, the world environment. Okay, they run. Running's great. We all love running. We love travelling, don't we? But no, this culture can't continue. And as I say, I personally will be lobbying Park Run, both locally and nationally or internationally or whatever. But this is something that people must be made aware of. They're hurting the environment, and it can't continue. And then when it's supported on Park Run announcements that people have come long distances, that people have done 4 park runs in 1 week, you're encouraging an anti-green, an anti-environment culture, which is not a good thing. Okay, rant over. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do this. All the best. Good to speak to you. Green running. Cheers. Well, good morning everybody. I've got something to read here. It's an open letter that I've penned to the Park Run organisation. An open letter to Park Run. Having recently taken part in Leon Solent Park Run in a rather slow walk-stroke-run style, I am motivated to write this open letter to you. Park Run is, I believe, a great organisation with such good community-based reasons for its setting up and ongoing great worldwide success. Sit back a bit. It encourages regular running in the local communities and indeed has a great community spirit and ethos of community action. Not the least is that it promotes the good health and motivation of those runners taking part around the world. Other than congratulate Park Run for their amazing community-spirited event, the purpose of our letter to you is to plead for more concern for the environment. Park Run and some of its supporters are, unfortunately, promoting a lot of park run tourism that is very damaging to the environment. encouraging runners to travel long distances to take part in park runs around the world. This is having a significant negative impact on the environment in terms of the carbon footprint related to the air and other forms of travel involved. Park run extreme tourism is something that should be stopped before it progresses further. Humanity and the planet deserves much better, and it deserves the support of park run. Not all such negative activity is the fault of the park run organisation, as a lot of it is instigated by park run participants. But the organisation must please adopt a more environmentally friendly ethos. As at Lyon Solent Park Run last Saturday, the 10th of June, it was demonstrated by the pre-race announcer that in one instance to run 4 park runs in 1 week, as in the case of one participant, was looked at as a positive thing. And indeed it received the customary cheers from the assembled runners. But I am sure if many there had stopped to think, they would realise that in fact this is not something to be lauded and encouraged, or in fact any kind of level of park run tourism, unless it is associated with other good reasons for travel, such as business or family holidays. One gentleman taking part in the run Saturday had completed 170 runs in different locations around the world, and proudly wore his park run tee, showing his running achievement. Most of his travel in relation to what is a great hobby for him, and I don't doubt he gets a lot of satisfaction from doing so. Unfortunately, in today's climate emergency, this kind of activity just is not sustainable for humanity. So please, park run, can we talk about this and move towards an ethos that maintains park run's original community spirit and concept, but also adopts a better outlook to the protection of the environment? We are supporters of Park Run. Well done for the community-based organisation you have created. Thanks a lot. Speak to you later.